Alright, last time I spray painted a car in my backyard and that was a little ghetto. So now let's see what happens when we put a little bit more effort.
Alright, so I'm going to sand the whole car down with 400 grit. I started in the daytime and what a horrible mistake that was. It is so hot here in Texas. By the way guys, this is my new SRT-4. I know it doesn't look that bad from the video far away, but the paint is truly horrible. In fact, that's the only bad thing about this car. This car actually runs really good. So I'm gonna restore it back to its original shape. These things are getting a lot rarer. I hardly ever see them. If you don't know about these cars, Dodge put a turbo on a Neon, made it a little more aggressive looking. I mean, I wouldn't say great looking, but it looks more aggressive, and they're super fun to drive. Now, my budget is to paint this car for under 500 bucks with real automotive paint. So if you want to see this car restored back to the way it should be, follow for more. Do you have a broken bumper, broken tabs, cracks all over your bumper? Well, don't worry, we're gonna fix them. Alright, first I'm gonna prep the areas with some sandpaper and then clean it off with a rag and some mineral spirits.
Alright, so we're gonna fix a broken bumper with this awesome stuff 3M makes, and here's the part number for it.
Guys, this stuff is so strong it can hold Johnny Depp's and Amber Heard's relationship together. I'm applying it to the broken area and using the scissor jack to support it. And it should be good in like 5 minutes, but I'm gonna give it 3 hours. Alright, moment of truth. When I remove this, nothing should move. Awesome. Now it does look ugly, it left some residue, so I'm gonna sand it down with some 220 grit sandpaper and make it look nice. Follow for the results. Last time we fixed this cracked bumper with some adhesive. Now it's time to make it look nice. First thing I'm doing is sanding down the old adhesive with 220 grit, and now it's Bondo time. This is gonna be used to fill all the scratches and imperfections. Be generous when applying it because it's better to have more than not enough. And we're gonna sand it down to the shape we desire. I'm using the palm sander to take off the higher spots and finish the rest off by hand. Now it's time to prime it to see how it turned out. And of course we had some imperfections, so time to sand again. And now time to prime, just repeat until you get the results you like. Again, this is the before and this is the after. I'm pretty proud for my first complex shape. Follow if you want to see me paint this whole car for under $500. Alright, let's get this car looking like an amber turd to something presentable. We are at Los Santos Customs with my boy Brian, and we're gonna get this thing painted. First things first, his eye is better than mine when it comes to paint, and there was plenty of areas that needed resanded, so we did that. The paint job is only gonna be as good as the prep work, so we have to make sure we do it right. Also, something to note, you shouldn't use that blue painter's tape for painting cars. You have to use this yellow tape. Now we are on a budget, so we're gonna clean the panels with some Windex before we lay down the primer. Follow if you want to see how this turns out. Alright, we're back, and now it's time to prime the car. So far we've spent about $112. This includes Bondo, sandpaper, adhesive, and primer. We're only priming where there's Bondo, exposed metal, or rough areas. Now we're lightly gonna sprinkle some black to do my favorite thing in the world, blocking. You're basically sanding with a block until all the black paint goes away. This allows you to have a smooth surface, but it takes forever. But Brian has a cheat code.
Alright, for Bodywork. For Bodywork.
And no, that's not Bondo, that's pre-workout. That's right, I dry scooped that because I'm hardcore, and that definitely sped things up.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
After blocking, we're gonna finally paint. So follow because you don't want to miss how this paint job turns out. Are you ready to see the Neon SRT-4 get painted? We're gonna start off with some base coat and then hit it with some clear coat. We're gonna mix the paint 1-to-1 with the reducer. We're gonna start spraying it on the car. We're gonna do a light coat first and then a thicker coat. You ready for a seizure? Oh! Alright, if you survive that, this is what the car is gonna start to look like. And a little bit after the paint's on, we can start doing the clear coat. Now it's time to do some calculations. The clear coat's the most difficult layer to paint, and it makes the biggest difference. And this is how it finally turned out. Now, for my first time painting a car, way better than I expected, but that's because I was with an expert. In the next video, I'll show you how much everything costs and how it looks all put back together. Do you want to learn how to black out a car? Well, first we need to tint the taillights. Really quick, I forgot. Since we are painting the car black, I want to black out the lights as well. I'm wet sanding the lights with 400, 600, and then 800 grit sandpaper. These little details are definitely going to make the car stand out. And it's not that difficult. All you do is add a splash of black into clear coat. This is utilizing the same paint we've already been using, so it's not really any more money. But here's the tricky part. Every time you're going to put a coat down, it gets slightly darker and darker. You're going to want to paint them at the same time because you want to make sure the shade is going to be the same. The style I'm going for is OEM with a slight amount of darkness. I don't want to be too dark that I'll get pulled over. I just want it to look nice. But who's ready to see a blacked out SRT-4? The final assembly and cost breakdown will be in the next video.
Alright, last time I spray painted a car in my backyard and that was a little ghetto. So now let's see what happens when we put a little bit more effort.
Thanks for joining the journey. We took the car to Los Santos Customs with a small budget of $500. This is how it turned out. Before I show you the final product, I want to show you guys what it looked like before. After buying all the paint and the materials, the total came out to $501.48. Let me know in the comment section if you think it was worth it, and let me know if you think this came out better than the spray painted car.